Hello guys, welcome to another video. I'm just voicing over this video here. I've made a mistake with the setup of the mic and whatnot, but here we are. We're in Chitwan National Park. We're going to be doing a little helicopter ride around the area where I went when I was in my younger years. This is a carry-on from my trip to India. We went to Nepal. We attempted Mount Everest base camp. This is not matching up with my little pointer there because as I just mentioned, my mic wasn't working, but yeah, this is a little showcase of Chitwan National Park. We're going to see what it's like on Microsoft Flight Simulator. People, when they come to Nepal, they think of, well, Nepal is what I'm showing on the little screen here, which is what I'm talking about is mountains, the Himalayas, the massive, one of the highest concentration of highest mountains in the world, all found in basically Nepal. Well, there are a few scattered around Pakistan and India, and there might be a couple of others in the Andes, but basically almost 98% of the peaks above 8,000 meters are found along here. But what people don't realize is that Nepal has also got a nice lowland area as well, which is covered in jungle, rainforest, rivers that flow in from the mountains. Yeah, so people think of Nepal as just this mountain oasis, but they don't realize that it's also more to it than mountains. And yeah, we're going to be doing a little short helicopter ride around Chitwan National Park, which is a really, really famous national park in Nepal. It's home to many different species of animals, such as the rare rhino and wild Asian elephants, and potentially so this is the Indian rhino that's found in the rainforest, and there's also tigers found in the Bengal tiger found in the park as well, or in Nepal, the region around here where my mouse pointer is currently. Yeah, so there's a really good river that runs through there, very fertile around this area of Nepal. All of this nutrients running off the mountains, the glaciers, and it gets deposited all around this forest here. But yeah, there's a really good population of tigers there, clouded leopards, even Indian leopards. It's got everything. And it's got all your different animals like foxes, honey badgers, or your different deer species, and it's a really, really famous place for birds. Some incredibly beautiful birds, kingfishers, all of your classic sort of birds found in the India area. Not too clued up, like I love birds. Birds are my favourite animal, but I'm not too clued up on all the bird life that are found here, but they're all like your small passerine type birds. Also got your famous peacocks around this area too. So yeah, we really are enjoying Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's really coming in to its own. 2024, as we can see, just trying to get off the ground here. Still coming to grips with helicopter flying. I'm not the best at it, but as you can see, I forgot to turn off the prop brake. Right now we're cooking with fire as we're raising up into the sky, following this river. And we flew into this airport the other day in the ATR, but the detail in the actual river is really nice. It's a lot better than the what we saw in 2020. Still 2020 has got it's got such great performance and graphics under the hood, but I do feel this is just a different level in itself. So yeah, here we are, trying to get to grips with the helicopter here, flying over this farmland. Not too sure which way we're going, but just trying to see if I can enlarge the video. Here we go. Yeah, we're flying over this graded river system. I can imagine with a bit more water masking. Like I say, this whole area is crying out for some decent water masking. But a bit better water masking, I can imagine this would really come out, and a bit of love to the area in itself. They could really do the whole like subcontinent, India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, and maybe parts of as you can see my little pointer up there, parts of Tibet, which I can imagine, politically speaking, would be a minefield, but I guess they could call it the plateau of China and Tibet, however they like to word it. But this whole area is really crying out, and of course you've got Sri Lanka and Maldives. This whole area is crying out for love. But yeah, as we're flying around that area outside of Chitwan National Park, you can see the airport just to the left of that little blue dot, green dot there. That's where we landed. We come down in Chitwan National Park is that forest area. Well, the whole area that you can see in the distance is all part of the Radeon National Park. But where most tourists go, which is where we're going to fly to very soon, we'll showcase where most of the tours start and where most of the accommodation is. As you saw with my little pointer there, that's where we're heading. We're going to follow this river up into the park, looking at the very parched, dry landscape, which this must have been taken, this footage, the satellite imagery must have been taken in the height of summer where this area does suffer droughts from time to time. But in the rainy season this is just bright green, and that's just a big thick thing of jungle there. That would be full of different wildlife in there. Basically all your like animals that are famous in India are all found in this area here. We're coming up to the where I was, where my mouse pointer was, right in front of us. I need to get better with my sightseeing. I'm a bit all over the place, but that's okay. Got to start somewhere. But yeah, all of this is all mixture of dense forest, jungle, open grassland, great habitat for a variety of different species of animal like the tiger, the leopard, monkeys, birds, elephants, and the Indian rhinoceros. And this is where I spent a lot of my time. Was it here? No, it's further along. But yeah, this is sort of and the river there too. That river is full of crocodiles as well. So yeah, it's got everything in this place. And then of course you've got all your snakes and lizards and geckos. But yeah, that detail in the river bed there is pretty good. It's, as I mentioned before, the Flight Simulator 2024 really is coming to life in this. It really brings what I'm meaning to say. It really brings the world to life. Yeah, I really enjoy Flight Simulator 2024 and just that ability to hop out of your helicopter and explore the area. And I did, when I did the Mount Everest flight just before in Flight Simulator 2024, I was talking about where that mouse pointer is. That's where the actual park that I went to is, the part of the park. But going through those valleys, and when I did the Everest base camp helicopter flight, as I was saying, which you couldn't hear due to the audio issues, it's just spectacular what we have in 2024. But here we are. This is the Chitwan National Park where I was, and over here where I'm pointing over there, that's where there's a elephant sanctuary there, where they rescue baby elephants and whatnot. That river, I did do an elephant back safari, which back in the 2000s was thought to be the best thing to do, kind of thing. little did you know that it's not good for the animals, so I do not recommend doing elephant back safaris because it's really bad on the elephants. But I did do it, and that's just being honest. And as a young kid and not knowing any different, thought it was just normal. So we went for elephant safari across this river here, and then we went into the jungle here. We found rhinoceros. We didn't find any tigers, but we just walked around and then came back. And when I put a photo in the Instead, I will put a photo of me on an elephant, but just by myself, not those big things that they put on the elephant. But yeah, I sat on the elephant while it gave me a wash, which was quite a fun experience. Bit of a heavy landing there. But yeah, I think elephant riding, if it's just the one person, I think, because elephants in this part of the world are basically like your horse and cart, or your bull kind of thing. They're work animals, but as far as it goes, I think it's not good, but it's not bad. But elephant safaris, what I did and what used to be the thing, is that's really bad for the elephants. But yeah, as we're showcasing in this game, it's just amazing what you can do. This third player point of view, being able to walk into the jungle here and exploring. It's really, really good. I think I'll just stop talking here, and I think you can hear me just. And we'll go into the next bit of the video, so I'll just stop it there. But yeah, you could imagine me, I did just listen to the feedback, and it wasn't that loud. But you can imagine without the hum of the helicopter there and some specific like sounds, you can imagine yourself hearing elephants and all the little bird life that are found native to this area of the world. I'm just walking around exploring. But yeah, one thing that Microsoft was so whoever is part of this development, I reckon they should definitely look at implementing the ability to have specific sounds to, I mean it would be a bit hard to do it to Pacific forest bits, but like to India, like geographical areas, they should like just have a generic sound pack but with specific sounds for that area. Like if you're in India, sort of Southeast Asia, it would be cool if they had like, you know, like specific sounds for that general area with tigers and elephants and the bird life that are found there, and then vice versa with Africa, have a different sound pack for that area. And then of course North America and Europe, it would be cool if they could sort of tailor that into the game to make these areas. I'm not too sure if it's possible, but yeah, it would be great if they could somehow implement that ability. But yeah, just looking around through here, this is pretty cool. It's pretty cool that you can do this in the game. You could do parts of it in 2020. You could get the drone out and fly around, but this definitely has a different vibe to it. But yeah, we'll we'll jump to the next bit now. But yeah, as I was saying, you can imagine hearing tigers and stuff. Can you imagine doing this and seeing a tiger jump out of the bush? Yeah, you wouldn't do this by yourself. There'd be snakes and, like I mentioned, tigers, leopards. Yeah, there'd be everything. But it would be cool if they could somehow implement like birds in the trees and tigers in the trees, and, you know, put elephant, not only the sound package to the geographical area, but if they could like put some like local animals in the area too, like some Asian elephants and some Indian rhinos, or a snake up in the tree, or that would be pretty creepy seeing that in the game. But it would be quite cool if they could put a bit more like fauna into the game, like specific deer to this area. Like I mentioned, it's funny seeing the cows up Mount Everest. That was really funny, wasn't it? But yeah, it'd be cool if they had like snakes and birds and whatnot. That would be really cool to put that into the game.
This will be a really good place to come across a tiger or a rhino or elephant. Definitely feel like even something like some hornbills in the tree here, some bird life, that would make the life of the game more immersive. That's another thing that would probably be here. There's a nice leopard sitting up in the trees here. Some snakes, monkeys definitely. And they should like try and figure out a way to like work. Is that where the game is? That outside? That sounds like here. Hopefully it's in this game. It's like the howling and the howling. But yeah, it'd be great if they put some specific sounds to each area. It doesn't have to be specific like this particular forest, but they should definitely look at in Asia, like sounds of Asia probably doesn't have to be just India, but when they do next world updates, they should put like a sound pack specific for this area, as in this continent, like Southeast Asia, sample a few different birds and wildlife and whatnot. But yeah, can't get far enough to get rid of that element, so it might be part of the actual game. Anyway, we'll get back to the helicopter, we'll get on back to this airport here, we'll end up right here. And then we'll go into
And now we're heading back to the airport to conclude our trip to India and Nepal, and we'll go to Thailand after this, and that'll be our next sort of like scenic flight when we do a little flight around Koh Samui where I went when I went to Thailand. But as a whole, this is the end of the trip, and it's been a real pleasure to bring you guys along. A bit of trip down memory lane for me when I was 19 years old, when I basically went halfway around the world by myself. I did this with a good friend of mine that could speak the language. Couldn't speak Hindi as the first language, but knew enough to get by, which really helps a lot. Although there is a big English-speaking community in India. Man, as Kiwis, it makes you realise just how wrong we have it at school. We've got one language, and that's English, and Maori, which is really good to see that it's becoming more prevalent and more people are learning it. It would be cool if New Zealand has a national language everyone can speak fluently, because, I mean, we're, apart from the US, especially UK and Australia, maybe a bit of Canada, every other country has their own language, so. But yeah, I really do need to learn new languages, but we're flying over the actual area where most of the hotels and your different bungalows and all your different accommodation is based around here. You can sort of see swimming pools, which is a good giveaway, but that's where I believe I do remember being sort of somewhere around here, and I could just walk to the river. I think our accommodation was right on the river edge. But yeah, that's really good detailing in the river there. I think it's more vegetation than the water, but I do hope that the Sobo do like have better, as I mentioned when I was in the, doing this tour, and you can see the river there too. That's really good detail. But they definitely do need more watercolours, watercolour colours for different areas, and to get that colours right, like those reds and browns and some of the rivers and the bright blues kind of thing. They should really try and implement that. But yeah, we're heading back to I think it's Bengaluru Airport, and then that will conclude our trip down memory lane for, we've still got a couple more flights for but yeah, that's basically it. And as you can see the foothills of the Himalayas in the distance there. This is all lowland, but back where we see, you can just sort of see it. I need to improve my picture, just go slowly with my panning and whatnot, but yeah, this is all lowlands, all rich fertile lowlands from all of the Himalayas. Here we go, the Himalayas just over there in the distance. But yeah, it just showcases that another sort of Nepal people wouldn't really necessarily know about. Country of big massive mountains, but they've got some of the most fertile jungles and river ecosystems in the world. And it's really good produce growing over here too, like rice paddies and different types of produce, vegetables, whatnot. Yeah, it's a really cool part of the world. This part of Nepal, definitely highly recommend going to Chitwan National Park. It's a fantastic place to go, and you'll be able to see lots of different wildlife if you're into that sort of stuff. And yeah, here we are, lining up, and I do believe I did quite well with the landing too. I'm getting a lot better. But yeah, we'll leave it at that, folks, and that will conclude this part of our journey, and we'll see you again when we fly from Delhi to Bangkok, and then we'll do another little helicopter trip around Koh Samui there, and that will be us. So thank you for coming along with our ride, and we'll see you again next time. Anyway, thanks for being part of my journey, and we'll see you again when we leave Kathmandu, head back to Delhi, and then from Delhi we'll fly to Bangkok and then on home. So thanks for being a part of this short little video, and definitely worth it. I thought I'm quite pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be a bit generic like it was when I flew in the ATR, but definitely really happy with this game. Anyway, I'll see you again shortly.